Hello and welcome to Real Voices of Happy Valley. Now, on 26th of November at 7 p.m. at Hampton Bridge Library, there's a book launch. The book is Orca and Bird. The author is Anna Chilvers. And Viv spoke to Anna on her Bookends radio programme, which can still be heard on 3ws.caldervalleyradio.co.uk. Listen again. And we thought we would just repeat it for a podcast. On the radio show, Viv plays music. We do not have a license for playing music on this podcast, so I've had to cut that out. But it's still a really interesting chat that they had. So if you missed the radio show, you can catch that again, first Friday of every month. Here comes Viv's chat with Anna Chilvers.
I'm here with Anna Chilvers in her house. After a complicated story, we finally managed to meet up. Hello, Anna.
Hello, Viv.
And I wanted to talk to you because you're an author, and just wondered if you could talk us through what you've read. Not what you've read, what you've written. I've read Falling Through Clouds, which is one of yours. Yeah.
So, Falling Through Clouds was my first published novel, which came out in 2010, which is 15 years ago now.
Wow,
So it's a long time. And in between then, I've had another 2 novels published, so Tainted Love and East Coast Road, and a book of short stories called Legging It also came out. And I've got a new novel coming out later this month, which is called Orca and Bird.
Okay.
And another book that I've just recently been working on is a book called The Book of Bogs, which I've edited along with Claire Shaw, and that's an anthology of writing about bogs. Yeah,
as in boggy ground.
Yeah. And the point of that was trying to raise awareness of the importance of that sort of landscape of bogs and peatlands because they are under threat. I mean, the local moor here, the wind farm is there's the Walsall Moor's under threat, but I think more widespreadly, people often think they're just sort of barren landscapes, but they're really not. So the Book of Bogs is sort of to raise awareness of the importance of bogs, the richness of life there. And
what is the importance of them?
I mean, lots of importance. I mean, one is that they, as I say, there's a whole richness of life. It's often very small life. It's like the mosses and the tiny things that live in that, the birds.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of wildlife. But they also, the peat holds carbon. And if you remove the peat, it releases that carbon into the air, which is obviously a problem. And peat holds more carbon than all the trees in the, all the rainforests and trees and everything in the world. So it's sort of like at the heart of our ecosystem and is really important to be maintained, because if the bogs go, then everything else will go too. Yeah. So it's to raise that sort of awareness. And the book explores that sort of thing, but also the mythology of bogs and the sort of stories around it and people's experience of being there. And there's quite a lot about actually getting into the bog as well. So that's just come out about a month ago, and then I've got my own novel coming out very soon. So it's sort of like a 2-book autumn. It's quite exciting.
Yeah. How do you do it? I mean, I know lots of people said, I just haven't got the discipline or the time. I mean, do you set times aside when you're going to write, or do you just do it when the feeling takes you, or what do you do?
I think if I only did it when the feeling took me, I probably wouldn't ever do it. Or I'd just write little scraps. But it really varies. It's not like a consistent thing. I say always, all through my life, I write between 8 and 9 in the morning or something. It doesn't work like that. I go through different phases. I mean, sometimes I'm sort of thinking of ideas, and a lot of what I do is making notes and thinking, and that's a really important part of the process. And then there's usually a point where I want to start writing, and so far with the novels I've written, there's been a period of time where I do write every day, and it's usually very early in the morning. I'm a morning person, so You know, I get up and I write first and get that done and build up quite a big body of work, and you know, usually the whole novel in a fairly short time. But then what I've got is a first draft. It's a scrappy thing that doesn't necessarily stand up, and I've got to work on editing. So that's the next phase that comes in, and that's a different sort of process.
Yeah, I spoke to Stephen May, who's another author, lives locally, and he said he could spend forever researching. He loves it. But actually putting metaphorical pen to paper, he just puts off and puts off.
Yeah. I think once I get into that mindset, I can do it, but it's not consistent. I mean, maybe it might be like a few months where I do loads of writing, but there might have been like a year before that and a year after where I do very, just bits and bobs and editing and faffing and note making.
Yeah.
So it's not a consistent all my life thing.
Do you have children at home? I know you've got...
No, not anymore. I've got 3 children, but they're all grown up now. So, one lives locally, so we see quite a bit of him. But I'm
thinking in terms of the writing. Does it make it easier? Or
I don't know.
take the structure
really
away a bit?
I mean, when I wrote Falling Through Clouds, my first novel, my son was tiny, he was a baby.
Yeah.
And I used to basically write when he was asleep. So as soon as he fell asleep, it was like writing time, and I'd get on and do my writing, and the writing session came to an end when he woke up.
Yeah.
So that was, you make the space. And when you've got a little bit more space, it's easier to waste it, I think.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Sort of having kids to wake up, give breakfast, whatever, with, it gives it some kind of structure, doesn't it, to when you can do your writing.
Yeah. And I mean, I do a lot of other things as well as writing, and often things in my work has got deadlines and whatever, so it's easy to prioritise those, because you've got to get it done, and you've got somebody waiting for it, or if you don't do it, you won't be paid or whatever. Whereas writing is a much more sort of open-ended and regulated business, so it's easier to let that slip out.
Yeah. So what is the other stuff that you do?
I'm teaching mostly. I sort of teach writing.
Okay.
I do a bit of teaching at Hull University, and I teach classes online and locally in creative writing.
Yeah. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. Yeah.
So it's all adults, presumably.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I have worked with young people, but I've not taught children.
Yeah. So what form do your classes take then? Do you go each week, each month?
I mean, they vary. I do some one-off workshops, so it's just a writing workshop that people come along to. I've got a regular writing group that meets online every Thursday, and that's a sort of feedback group where they bring their work to share with each other. And we also do little writing prompts for that as well. I do at the moment I've got a weekly class going on at the town hall, which is creative writing class where, we're looking at different ways of connecting with the world. So I do that. I sometimes do a class with a theme. So I did one last year that was about myths, about using myths and mythology to write new stories. So looking at what is in the mythologies that's relevant to us today, and how we can make those sort of stories work in the modern day.
It's a good day to be talking about that, isn't it? We're on Halloween.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Myths and mythologies abounding.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I teach the artist's way as well, which is not so much writing, that's of course in creativity. So people who want to be more creative. There's a book by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way, and we work through that together as sort of supporting each other as we work on our creativity.
How's that? Have you been doing it long?
I mean, I've done it for years actually. I mean, it's a 12-week course, so I've done, each group of people does it for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I've quite a few groups have come through and done that. I haven't got a group going at the moment, but I might be starting a new one in the new year.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So apart from writing and teaching, do you do other things? Don't you, more physical, sort of running?
Yeah, just as for my, for recreation, I do running and walking. I do a lot of walking, and walking really informs my writing practice as well.
Does it? In what
Yeah.
way?
I guess it gives you time to think, but also my writing is very place-based. So when I did the novel East Coast Road, I got funding from the Arts Council to walk from Scotland to Cambridgeshire.
Wow.
Which was research for the novel because the characters in East Coast Road do that walk. So I did it as research.
Wow.
So that was brilliant. And then the novel that's just about to come out, Orca and Bird, is set in forests. And the research I did for that was a lot of it going to different forests. So I chose various forests in the UK that were all different from each other, and I visited them all and walked in them. And my character is kind of doing a similar thing. She's a woodland surveyor, so she goes to all these different woodlands, and so sort of that sense of actually getting close to the land and being there and knowing what actually physically experiencing what it feels like to be in a place and to move through a place affects the way I write the novel.
Wow. So did you do it on your own, or did you have company while you were doing this massive walk from Scotland?
Right, mostly there was somebody with me. Various members of my family got dragged along. No one of them did all of it. I did it in chunks, and different ones of them came along for different bits. But there was a small amount that I did on my own, but mostly I was with somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
And the dog came for the whole way.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. And you just stopped off at B&Bs or whatever on your way.
Yeah. And because I'd got Arts Council funding, part of what they wanted me to give back was I did talks and workshops in libraries along the route as I was going along.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh, that's really getting immersed in your subject, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then this new one, because this is set in woodlands, I also did it as part of a PhD. So I've just finished a PhD. I'm now Dr. Anna Turner, Chilvers. And so I also had to write a critical piece about that. So I wrote 40,000 words about woodlands and literature and so on as well.
Yeah.
So it was quite a massive piece of work, but this is the novel that's come out of it.
Yeah, because all I know about PhDs is that you have to add to the sum of human knowledge. That's what it's about, you know, and if you're not doing that, then they won't accept it as a subject, as far as I know.
If you're doing a creative PhD, whether that's writing or art or music or whatever, the creation, the thing that you create is kind of a new thing for the sum of human knowledge.
Well, yeah.
But you have to write about why that is, which is where the critical writing comes in. You don't just, generally, you don't just create something. You also have to write about why this piece of art that you created is important for the sum of human knowledge.
Well, yeah, certainly doing that. That's fantastic. So what's in the pipeline coming up? You've got your book coming out.
Yeah, so the novel's coming out, and there's going to be a launch at Hebden Bridge Library on the 26th of November.
Okay.
So if people want to come to that and hear more about it, hear me read a little bit, they'd be welcome to do that. And
so, sorry, what time was it again?
I think it's going to be 7:00. There'll be information soon. It's very soon online and at the library.
26th of November.
And you'll need to. It would be free, but people need to book a ticket. So.
Oh well, that's good to know.
So so I'll be talking about that book quite a bit. And I've also got two projects that I'm sort of beginning. One is a new novel, which is in the very early stages at the moment. Just sort of getting ideas together for it. And I'm also writing a non-fiction book, which is sort of about connection to place and the loss of that connection and sort of how we can feel grief when we lose connection to a place. So that's kind of the topic.
How do you mean connection to a place? And
well, say it's somewhere that you've grown up and you know it intimately, and you feel like you love it, you feel like you know it really well. Sometimes you can just look out a window and the shape of the land, as well as the back of your hand or whatever. You really feel like you're part of it. You know the land really well. And if you lose that connection for whatever reason, then that is a real form of grief. And it's not a form of grief that we really talk about.
No,
So it's going to be partly memoir because it is partly about the place where I grew up,
which is
which is in North Warwickshire. It's my family owned a small holding.
oh right,
And my parents lived there till they died, and then my sister lived there for a little while. So for most of my life, that was part of my life, and now it isn't.
yeah.
So it's partly about that, but also it will extend out from my own story to other people. So I mean, people who are refugees. I mean, people who are forced to leave their homeland for whatever reason. Part of what they're feeling, as well as everything else, which is so awful for them, is that they've lost that connection to the place that means a lot to them.
Yeah.
So the book's going to be sort of exploring some of those issues.
That's interesting because we do tend to just, oh, well, moving house, especially to kids. Oh, yeah, new school, you get used to it,
Yeah.
or whatever, and we just take it for granted.
I mean, I think
we'll resettle, don't we? Yeah. Which on the whole we do, but there is still a hankering for where you grow up.
I think people have different experiences as well. I mean, obviously for me, that place was part of my life for over 50 years. Whereas my partner, when he was a child, his family moved a lot. So he doesn't have that same connection to one place in the way that, from childhood anyway, that I do. I mean, we've lived in Hebden Bridge for quite a long time now, so I guess you put roots down in a new place. But I think we sometimes dismiss that connection with place. But it is important.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Liverpool and then went to East Anglia for 4 years, then to Oldham, and then to Hebden Bridge. So been in Hebden 26 years now. It's quite a long time, but, I still hanker after Merseyside. I was there the other night and thought, why did I leave? It was the Light Up the River festival, so it's just lights all along the Mersey, and through the docks and everything. And met up with my cousin and lots of children. But I know what you mean. There's a pull.
And I think that comes through in all of my novels as well, because all of my novels have got a really strong sense of place, and that is something that interests me, and I think all my novels probably always will, because that's one of my major themes, is that link with place. But in this particular new novel, it's forests.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been lovely. Unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about or say, I'll play another piece of music. So if there's one that you want, just say.
I mean, I could say something about the music briefly if you want to.
Okay. I believe your latest book has a playlist in it. So how does that work?
Yeah, it doesn't so much have a playlist in it. One of my previous novels, Tainted Love, does. It's actually printed in the back of the book.
Oh, right.
This one won't have that printed in it, but there was a playlist that inspired me while I was writing. And it's a lot of sort of 60s and 70s soul music.
Right.
And there's a character in it called Jack, and it's kind of his music taste. And they go on a long car journey, and I imagine this playlist to be, what they're playing in the car as they're going along.
Right.
So although it's set in British woodland, it's got this sort of American soul music aspect to it as well. And that's always really important to me. I always link music into my writing as well as everything else.
Yeah, Dave and I used to be booking agents for bands, and one of them was called My Darling Clementine, and they sang like 60s and 70s country. Yeah, so they did that kind of music, and there was a writer who liked their music. So he used to go on tour with them, and he'd write a story and they'd write a song about it, or a song they already had he would write the story for. So it was Mark Billingham, it was. I like that sort of crossover.
I mean, when East Coast Road came out, which is the novel which I did the long walk for, and one of the characters in there is Saint Etheldreda, who is a real saint from the 7th century. And there's a band called Hen Ogledd, and they'd done a song called Etheldreda. And the book came out during COVID, and they did a recording of them singing that for me that we played at the
lovely.
launch, which was really nice.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, so thanks for that, Anna. That was an interesting chat.
When this interview first went out on Calder Valley Radio at the beginning of November, a couple of tracks were played. One was Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, and the second one, a bit more unusual and less well known, Anna has just referred to, a band called Hen Ogledd with Etheldrada, relating to a character in one of her books. As I said earlier, we don't have a license to play music on Real Voices of Happy Valley, but you can find Hen Ogledd, Etheldrada, on YouTube and various other outlets, and it's worth searching for.